Hey, it's Marie. We had a great Earth Month here at MDE and packed so much into our biggest holiday. Be sure to hit comment, like, and subscribe.
Every tree must find its place in the sun. Without sunlight, neither a tree nor any green plant could grow.
And so we were wondering if anyone would even show up to help us plant 2,000 trees. I figured maybe one person would show up, maybe two. And they are here in the cold, in the wet, in the mud to do what's right. And what's right is make sure that when we have abandoned coal fields or mines like this, that we are revitalizing them.
You got a rhythm going on with this, basically. How many trees y'all planted so far?
A lot. Well, we're helping the environment because trees help like everything. Oxygen, it helps the soil. So it's nice to be helping the environment.
More like habitats for animals.
So this is amazing. Look at the students over here going all the way up in the trees. We're talking 2,000 trees. And so what I'm going to do right now, I have some boots I'm going to put on.
All right, we'll go to work.
All right, we're going to do this.
Okay.
Arbor Day! Yes!
So this was a strip mine. And as part of the process of reclamation, sometimes you backfill, but a lot of times you have a necessary reclamation as part of your permit. Sometimes they're abandoned, sometimes they're not, but you can either set to pasture or meadow, you can plant trees, you can use solar. There's different like reclamation ideas or things that are approved, but yeah, today this one was abandoned. Yeah. So now we're taking it upon ourselves to go plant some trees.
All right. Do we have soil to put over it?
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
So like these roots here, we gotta make sure they're all down in.
Okay.
And we'll pull it up a little bit.
All right.
And then just watch your fingers, because it's a little...
yes.
Probably all rock underneath it.
Yeah, it's
Shaly.
And it's that simple. 8 feet apart.
Yep.
Okay, and then we're gonna plant the next tree.
There's the next hole.
Yes. It's amazing. Okay.
Yep.
Look at that. Wow. All right. We got 2 down. 1,998 to go.
You have steep slopes like this in rain events, you can really see a lot of runoff, and so then you take down the soils, and so planting trees really helps stabilize everything, make sure you're not going to have that excess erosion.
Yep.
But yeah, also our mission to reduce as much carbon as possible. A lot of it's going to be based out here in Western Maryland.
Yeah, I think it's really a great collaboration of local government, state government, and federal government to celebrate Arbor Day. To have all these kids come out and do something that they don't normally do. They're normally playing on video games and watching videos, but now they're getting some real world experience about how the world does actually work. And by having them plant these trees, we'll get to the goal for state of Maryland to have 5 million trees. I know a couple of years ago we passed that legislation that we were going to make sure that we did that. And so here, I'm just very proud that District 1, Allegheny County, Lonaconing, is just taking a small step to make sure those trees get planted and that goal is obtained.
Well, they're planting trees on a reclaimed mine site. This mine was probably active for, I'd say, about 40 years total. So it's been reclaimed probably within the last 6 or 7 years. They changed the law in 1977. Before that, you didn't have to reclaim nothing. There was just empty holes everywhere. That was, how far as it was a terrible mess. Putting trees on it will stabilize the soil, and the leaves will actually help fertilize it, and it'll start with its next phase of life.
It's great that MDE has a program like this. As somebody who lives in Western Maryland, it's great to see all these former strip jobs and mine sites being cleaned up.
Yep, and a little stomp on each side. Stomps up. You give it a little tug. Perfect. Perfect. Remember where that tree is? Come back in 10 years and you can get walnuts off it.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Welcome all of our guests to Annapolis High School. I am Audra Whalen. I am the proud principal of Annapolis High School, and I might be just a slight bit biased, but I would say it is the best high school in Maryland. So I'm honored to have you all here. I really appreciate that you all are here to see the hard work of our students. So the vision we have set for our students this year is pursuing excellence through hard work and accountability. And just to see their passion for climate education, all of their involvement in clubs, to end with having all these remarkable guests, just exemplifies that mission to me. So thank you all, I'm very proud of you, and I'm honored that our guests are here to see that.
So today we were kicking off the Maryland Climate Teach-In for 2024. This is our second annual event. This is celebrating climate education throughout the state, and there were events all over the state in both public and private schools, and also in social organizations. To be able to talk about how so many things in this world impact our personal wellness, including climate change, it's a really great instructional method. It's very personal for the students.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Jabari Walker. I am the Sustainability and Energy Coordinator at Bowie State University, and I'm also the co-chair of the Education, Communications, and Outreach Work Group for the Maryland Commission on Climate Change. So I did bring a few student ambassadors here. We call them the Green Ambassadors, and I was going to ask you all to stand up and give your introduction, if you don't mind, real quick. They are the next generation. They're going to have to be the ones that actually take care of the problems that the former generations have created. They're also the generation that's going to have to think of some innovative ways and techniques to, do things that we didn't do in the past.
Hey everyone, my name is Shanti. I'm majoring in child and adolescent studies with a minor in dance. What else? I'm a senior, so I'm graduating this May. Just even getting the degree, making this far. And yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Jakaya Higgins. I'm a sophomore at Bowie State University, but I am also for the Bowie State Green Ambassadors. I'm also a social media rep, so I take pictures and post it on the Instagram. And I'm a psychology major, and I'm minoring in child and adolescent studies.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Chloe Wesley. I am a freshman at Bowie State University. I am a computer science major with a minor in bioinformatics with a cybersecurity track. And yeah, I'm happy to be a Green Ambassador.
I love working with the young people because they still have young minds, they have passion, they have drive, and it's important to get that age group engaged so they can engage the people in that same group and then those who are coming up behind them.
This is the president of the Great Outdoors Club. Oh, nice. Yes.
The club, I didn't really know was part of the environment. I just joined it and I heard they were going outside, so I joined to go outside and stuff because that was fun. And then with doing that, it made sense that they were super interconnected with all the other environmental clubs and help with the events like the Earth Day and everything else.
Compostology is a youth nonprofit founded in 2020 by myself and my friend Angelina, and we divert school food waste from incineration and landfill to instead be composted, recovered, and used as a tool for legislation, first in the county, then in Maryland, and now in many different parts of the world. I think that one of the biggest problems we have today is that people are distanced from nature and from the environment in general. We have so much to do, even as students, even as adults, that in our day-to-day lives we don't really have time to connect with nature. And I think that at a global level, that is what's driving people to stop caring. So when climate change was first approaching, people didn't care all that much because it wasn't affecting them. But now people, I think they're starting to care more because it's threatening our lives. But nobody exactly cared when it was threatening the lives of so many endangered species, of the trees and the plants themselves. So I think by starting with environmental education and making kids appreciate where they come from and the fact that humans are interdependent with nature, I think that could really play a big role in getting people to just have a place in their heart for the environment.
I don't remember what exactly got me interested, but I do it for all of our futures because so many people are already incredibly affected by climate change and their futures are already being taken away from them. And I'm passionate about this because I want to stop people's futures from being taken from them, and I feel like protecting the environment helps protect those futures. I think a lot of people in our generation know how important this is, but they don't know what actions that they can take. And when I'm talking to people about the environment, I do try and get my friends to attend like Environmental Action Club, because that's a good way to make a difference. It's a great outlet from the school so that we can make a difference in our community.
I'm Mary Kay Connerton, and I'm the 2024 Maryland State Teacher of the Year. With the community wellness piece, like our mantra or our motto for the wellness program is wellness is a thread that unites us. So in the community wellness pillar, we run all of these community events for the year, and there's like 3 traditional events, 1 for each season that we're in school. So I just happen to be passionate about the environment as well. I see a huge link with the environment in our community because if you don't have the environment, you can't have the community. For me, it's really about having the kids see the connection that their impact is for the environment and beyond. And that's why I use that quote from Rumi today in the meditation that, you are the ocean, you're not just a drop in the ocean. Because I think if our kids can see their handprint on everything that is going on in our world, I think they'll be more adept to want to make that change.
This is a proclamation from the governor. And we're presenting it to you that officially declares Maryland's Climate Education Week.
I love it.
Yeah, and we are hoping that you plant this somewhere around your school, and as it blossoms and start capturing carbon out of the atmosphere, right? That's what trees are for, helping us breathe. So as you plant this, you are really contributing to, in Maryland, we have a goal to plant 5 million trees. Wow. And so you're going to help us with that goal now. Awesome. So think about us when you get this planted, and I'll come back to see it as it grows. Absolutely. Yeah.
What is a carbon footprint? A carbon footprint is how much carbon dioxide is put into the air from our actions.
Terrapins are the Maryland state reptile and are protected in Maryland due to their reduced numbers.
Coal is formed from peat. Peat is made of plants that collect in wetlands, which breaks down through the process of peatification. If peat is buried, then the peat can become different types of coal through the process of coalification. This kerogen gets buried deeper underground. The temperature is hot, and then the kerogen is turned into natural gas.
Greenhouse gas process. 1, sunlight warms the earth. 2, heat is released into the air. 3, greenhouse gases in the air hold on to the heat released from the earth. 4, then it forms a blanket in the sky.
What is ventral load? Ventral load, also known as grandfather power, is electricity used by an appliance or electronic device when it's turned on. For example, when you plug your charger into an electric socket without charging your device, it still uses electricity.
Due to the wasted amount of water bottles, we have collected over 9,000 water bottles in the past 2 years. The numbers continue to increase each school year as our school continues to buy water for the school. This cannot go on, so we need help to find a way to prevent this issue.
It can cause algae blooms, which are large amounts of algae. A high abundance of algae can block sunlight to underwater bay grasses.
Composting is being held inside of our school every single day during our lunch period.
We are given 30 minutes of lunchtime, and towards the end, everyone is assigned their role of what bin they are to use to take around the room for people to throw away the items.
What we do is pick up recycle across every single classroom and offices in the building of our GFS.
We started recycling and we observed that staff and students were being wasteful in materials, so we took action and started recycling to help educate and better our school campus.
We have helped native plants in our schoolyard. Native plants are those that occur naturally in a region which they have evolved. You can stop air pollution by burning less stuff and stop burning fossil fuels. Schoolyard litter pickup. Throwing trash on the ground hurts our environment. There was so much litter in the ground at our school. Someone had to do something, so we did. We spent our entire recess picking up trash.
Right now, we're focusing on building the new bird feeders. We're also trying to learn what birds are in our area so that we can use specific seeds for those specific birds.
You're doing so much. I literally was sitting there learning myself. I'm amazed. No wonder you're one of Maryland's sustainable schools. So if everyone took what you all are learning and presented seriously, the world would be better. What kind of trash that bothers me the most? It would be plastic bottles that are everywhere. That's the kind of recyclable trash that kind of makes me go, wow, why are all these bottles around? And people are not drinking the water and they just pile up, and that bothers me the most. So I'm so happy there's one of the groups stood up and talked about picking those bottles up. Ooh, what do I love most about my job? When I'm invited to schools like this, to see you all and to be in front of you and hear all the great things that you all are doing to help protect the environment. That is the best part of my job.
One of the benefits that we have for students ultimately is the ability to host a variety of different events where we bring thoughtful policy commentators, people working in various policy spaces together to be able to hash out new ideas, to galvanize students to think about issues in a new light. And we find that those kinds of events are a real value add to students who are coming into the program.
So one of the things that I was very happy to learn this evening was that MDE was thinking about the same things that I'm thinking of in terms of how climate change affects marginalized and low-income communities who are disproportionately affected. So I was glad to hear that they had divisions that were focused on keeping those communities in mind with their initiatives. Helping the environment is important to me personally because we only have one Earth. We're all part of these ecosystems, and I love nature. I'm a runner. Lake Elkhorn in Columbia is one place that I really cherish, and I work in Baltimore City. A lot of times when I go there, the green spaces near my school are like covered in trash and things like that. So when you see that and you interact with that, you don't want that for the kids and you don't want that for the community. So it's important for me to protect the environment and bring awareness to those things.
I learned a lot about the Maryland government response to climate change this evening and a lot of different perspectives on that from government officials themselves, the nonprofit perspective, and an academic perspective. I specifically loved the conversation about how climate change disproportionately affects disadvantaged communities, and I think that in the Baltimore area that's a really relevant discussion. I think helping the environment is something that is important to every area of study. I think especially in the public policy space, almost all public policy interventions have environmental ramifications, and I personally think that if we don't preserve the earth, we won't have a space to move forward in our unique disciplines. So starting with that, allowing us to have better infrastructure, better working conditions, better living conditions, we can make more developments in our areas of study that will allow us to move forward into a better future.
Tonight I learned all about the importance of vehicle emissions as it impacts climate change in Maryland. I really learned about why we need to target transportation when we're trying to reduce our emissions and how the state is trying to go about that primarily by electrifying vehicles. I was teaching a class to low-income students in Baltimore about weather and climate, and one day I brought my students outside to do a quick experiment, and one of my students had an asthma attack while we were outside, and it was one of the worst moments of my life, to be frank with you. And I kind of had this, I had to like justify within myself, how can I ask my students to reduce their shower times, or to just do the kinds of things you tell kids to do to reduce their emissions when the air in their neighborhood isn't even safe enough for them to breathe. So then that's really where my passion for environmental justice kicked off.
Well, it's important that we have trees, particularly by our water basin here, to create so that we have less erosion going into the water system, which runs out into the Chesapeake Bay. And also it creates oxygen that we need to breathe, and it keeps the ground cool.
Planting trees gives you a healthy sense of ecological time scale, and there's a really great way to memorialize any loved ones that we might have lost, and giving back to the more than human world, and to remind us ourselves that we are nature. Nature is us, and we're breathing in fresh oxygen that trees provide, so we give back. So in one word, reciprocity.
Hi everybody, happy Earth Day! I really am I'm humbled, I'm thankful, I am honored, I'm grateful just to be in your presence, and so thankful for all the work that you do. The beautiful thing about MDE, and I know, like MDE stands for the Maryland Department of Everything. Because it's true. Because you do everything. Tell me the lane that MDE focuses on. The answer is there is none. Because there's not a single thing that exists within our society that you do not have a role or responsibility for. It's the air that people are breathing. It's the water that they are drinking. It's the environments in which they live in. It's whether or not a person lives in a heat island or not. It's whether or not a person who is living by, listen, I love our state. I think we're the best state in the country, bar none, and I will debate any governor in America for that. And also, I know that one of the things that I love about our state is also one of the challenges. The fact that we are a state that is 70% either waterlined or waterlogged. So we can't talk about issues like rising sea levels and the ability to actually have raising our seawalls to address rising sea levels without understanding you are talking about the majority of the people who call themselves Marylanders. This is the Maryland Department of Everything. Because there's nothing that we are doing that you're not touching. When we saw what happened literally a month ago tomorrow, when something that has been a pillar of the Baltimore skyline, something that has literally been there since I've been born. I don't know what the Baltimore skyline looks like without you. Because until a month ago, I never saw it. And when instantaneously and unexpectedly, tens of thousands of tons of steel collapsed. When instantaneously and unexpectedly, a ship that is the size of the Eiffel Tower and that is the weight of the Washington Monument gets stuck inside of a channel with 3,000 to 4,000 tons of steel sitting on top of it. Who were some of the first people that had to respond? The Maryland Department of Everything. Because some of the first people that had to be there on site to identify what were the impacts. Some of the first people that needed to make sure that were there hazmat materials and environmental contamination that was going to then impact not just Dundalk, but everyone who was either up or downriver. The people who were some of the first folks out there deploying what is now over 3,400 feet of boom that's now sitting there surrounding, that was out there by the first day, capturing data, understanding what was in the water, understanding where on the ship Did that bridge fall? And then what was going to be the larger environmental hazmat impacts of that? Some of the first people was the Maryland Department of Everything. You all don't take up a lane. You have a lens. It's the way that we think about our work. Knowing that we have to always be thoughtful and cognizant of not just the short term, but the long-term consequences of making sure we are protecting what we are inheriting. Because let's be clear, there are certain heirlooms that we got. This state is full of some beautiful heirlooms, to include things like the Chesapeake Bay, to include things like our rivers and our lakes and our streams, to include things like the Patapsco. Things that we had no responsibility for. Things that we were born into. But it's our job to make sure that we are passing it off to the next generation even better than the way that we inherited it. That's what you do with heirlooms. That your job is not just to receive it. Your job is to protect it. Your job is to care for it. And to care for it in a way that when it's time for us to pass it off to the next generation, that they know they're getting something even better than the heirloom that we got. How we're focusing on investing in our future. How we're focusing on investing in our people. How we're making sure that some of the best, the most hard-charging, the most thoughtful, the most data-driven, and heart-led people in all of Maryland state government call MDE home. That's what you all continue to prove. And I can tell you right now that when we first came in and said that this was an area that we were going to take seriously, we were going to take our environment seriously, we were going to take environmental protection seriously, we were going to make sure that Maryland was going to lead, because when people say, well, Maryland alone can't fix it, I said, I agree with you, but I can tell you this, progress will not happen if Maryland does not lead. That we have a fundamental responsibility. And from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. Because you made us better. So, on this Earth Day, on a day that's the greatest celebration of our heirloom, the greatest celebration of our birthright, I want to say thank you not just for taking it seriously, but thank you for making sure that everyone else does too. Because if we do this right, if we make this moment matter, if we invest properly, if we work together, I'm telling you right now, we will create the type of society that those who came before us that they hope for, and those who come after us that they deserve. And when we do that, then we've done our job. And so bless each and every one of you. Thank you for your work. Happy Earth Day. And thank you for choosing to serve. Because it's not just appreciated, it's going to be remembered. So bless you guys, and thank you for all you continue to do for all of us.
I'm gonna try this.
And also, you all have created a department that is literally the envy of everyone else. And so I cannot stress enough how honored I am to be your colleague. There is never a room that you don't belong in. Every room that you are in. You're not there because of someone's benevolence. You're not there because of someone's kindness. You're not there because of someone's social experiment. You're not there because someone has sprinkled diversity into the room. You're in that room because you belong there. And you're in that room because that room would be incomplete if you weren't there.
When I received the message that the governor is coming here to plant a tree, I jumped up. I made sure that I signed up for it because I love coming here to see that our governor is someone who cares for the environment.
What's going on, Maryland? It's Governor Wes Moore, and I'm here at MDE. And listen, I got some friends with me. And we are so thrilled. It is Earth Day, and we are here to protect our heirloom. We're here to protect our Earth. We're here to make sure that everybody's involved, that everybody's engaged, and everybody understands why it's so important. from people who are here at MDE, people who are at DNR. We have private sector, we have the public sector. We got students from Booker T here as well. We got them all. We got them all. And listen, Maryland, we're going to need each and every one of you. This is our time. Let's protect our earth. Let's protect our environment. Let's protect each other. Let's go!
Thanks for checking out this month's events. Be sure to hit comment, like, and subscribe. See you next time.